Now, our next guest has just released his debut novel, Then We'll Be Happy, using humour and Irish banter to show the realities of living with cerebral palsy.
Author and screenwriter Alan Carrigan joins us. Alan, it is absolutely lovely to have you here. Thank you so much for coming in. A debut book inspired by a TED Talk. Tell us about Then We'll Be Happy.
Yeah, then We'll Be Happy follows Sam Greenway, and when he's excluded from yet another school trip, he starts a fundraiser, and sort of the book is about all of the things that come out of the fundraiser and the unexpected connections he has to make in order to pull that off.
And he's in transition year.
Yeah.
The most fun year in school.
Yeah.
And Sam is being excluded, essentially.
Yeah.
Essentially. You have cerebral palsy, as does Sam, but you're not the same person. This is a fiction book.
Yeah, obviously it's based off my sort of physicality and stuff, but the idea came from, I had a great experience in TY, going on the bus and stuff, and my school were very accommodating, so the idea came from, okay, well, what if I flip that on its head? So, yeah.
Can you tell us about your experiences? Like you're saying, that was a great experience, but your experience in general growing up with cerebral palsy?
Yeah, well, it's a bit difficult for me to say that because it's really just been my life.
Yeah.
I know nothing else other than being disabled, I guess. But it's been mostly positive and stuff. I just when I wanted to increase the disability representation in media. So when I started to interview people for the book, that's sort of how the plot with all the bullying and all that sort of stuff came into.
Yeah, because as you said, this is a fiction book. It's not based on your experience. You're flipping things on its head. And when we were reading the book in bits and everyone was chatting about this, you have decided to do this through humour. And that's important for people to know. It's a funny book.
Because I think that, it's for, teenagers, obviously, and I didn't want to, Trojan horse, okay, this is an issue book about disability, so I kind of wanted to throw the humour in there to get the messages across.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people might, have this preconceived perception about somebody like yourself in a wheelchair, but you're sort of saying you just love it when somebody comes over and wants to have a chat about the wheelchair.
Yeah, I think that the disability, when I was growing up in media, it fell into two camps. You were either really inspirational or you were really sort of depressed. So I kind of wanted to write the book to show that, there's more than two emotions in the full sort of scope. So, yeah, hopefully it starts a few conversations.
Did that depiction of people like you in the media have an effect on you when you grew up? You said it was either inspirational or depressed.
Yeah, there was certainly, lots of movies and stuff going up with a less than ideal ending for the disabled person, because they're often written by non-disabled people for non-disabled people.
Yeah.
So people are just assuming, okay, you're depressed, you must not want to live or whatever. But yeah, that's not the case in my experience. And while there are certainly dark moments in the book, and I don't shy away from that, I also wanted to show sort of a more well-rounded, nuanced approach. Yeah. So I don't know if I achieved that, but that was the goal.
I don't know if I achieved it. I'm just throwing it out there.
Just putting it out there.
You gave a TEDx talk in 2021 that I just thought was brilliant. It was because, as you said, when people put themselves in your shoes or they're writing about someone like you, they're putting it through the prism of, well, how would I feel if that was me? And they're like, well, I'd be depressed. And you talked about people's perceptions from the reality of what your life is. So when it comes to perception and what people feel and the lived experience, what does that do to you when people perceive you in a way that isn't you?
Well, it doesn't give me a fair chance because people think because their cousin is in a wheelchair or their sister's aunt is in a wheelchair or whatever, that I must be the same as them.
Yeah.
But like, if they perceive me based on how I get around, they're not actually looking at the person it's this. Yeah. So I think, I would like people to come up and like have a conversation with me before they judge me, because the key part of it is I'm a disabled person, and person being the word there, and like everybody is different. So
Person. The noun is what's important there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You are a person. I mean, the thing about the book is like, so you had difficulties trying to find work, and then this is how you got into this.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little about that?
Yeah, when I was doing the TEDx talk, I did the talk, and then I just went about my life trying to find, obviously, jobs and stuff after college. It's quite difficult because of the level of assistance that we need. It's quite difficult in general to find a job, but then when you add all of that stuff on top, it's more difficult. So when I was looking back at the talk for a different speaking engagement I did, and somebody said to me, you talk about like wanting representation a lot in a lot of your public speaking, so why don't you give a go at right? And at that time it was COVID, so we were all like, there was nowhere really to go, so I just spent all of my time writing a book.
I love that someone said that. You keep on talking about representation, just do it yourself.
Do it yourself. Write the book.
And you did work with, you were working with Tilting the Lens, Sinead Burke's foundation that is all about, giving people accessibility to all of these, to all industries. How did you find that experience?
When I was writing a book, trying to find a publisher, I didn't know if it was going to work, so I was just throwing stuff at the wall, and luckily, Sinead and her team at Tilting the Lens took me on. So I also, at the same time as writing the book, I'm adapting it into a screenplay. That's a whole different kettle of fish set of writing, but it's interesting all the same.
It's interesting all the same. Sure, I'll take up screenwriting while I'm at it. It's almost the same thing. The book is called Then We'll Be Happy. It's a young adult novel, a fiction book with a lot of humour in it, but a great thing, a school set thing during TY. Alan Carrigan, thank you so much for coming in and chatting to us today. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a million, Alan. Cheers.